Have you ever been hungry but can't afford food? Well, be hungry no more, as the H2 Overconsumption is here to save the day. With the H2 Overconsumption, all you need is good old trusty H2O, and you can have whatever your heart desires. For only $79.99, you can have food for life. And if you call 1-800-H2O-FOOD, shipping will be free. Again, that's 1-800-426-3663. Side effects may include rapid breathing, nausea, vomiting, headaches, fevers, runny nose, itchy eyes, shaking, dizziness, and seizures. Not responsible for heart disease, cancer, COVID-19, obesity, liver problems, asthma, stroke, diabetes, arthritis, pink eye, and flu-like symptoms.
In order to understand what happened in the commercial, we have to go back to where it all began, where Wally and Sally first met while living in one of the many food deserts of the United States, and decided to create a new piece of technology that would better serve their society in order to hopefully create an elimination of food deserts, but ultimately ended up failing because of the many policies and industries against them that their device would ultimately break, such as the agricultural industry.
You know, I had this dream last night where. Just take my fry. I had a dream last night where there was this machine that made food out of nothing. Like you could make any food you ever wanted.
Not good food?
Yeah. You could make steaks, anything. A salad.
Sick of this.
Yeah, all the grease in this fast food.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you're poor.
Yeah.
You can only eat what's available.
So, this machine, you don't need anything?
No, I don't know what it put into it. It might have been water. It's kind of weird though. They put something in the top of it, typed in some buttons, and it was there. Like magic.
Do you think that's possible?
You know what? It might be.
I think we should do that.
I think we should get on that, Sally.
Coming up, we will see how technology is used as a social construction through the actual inventing of the first ever prototype of the H2 overconsumption. In addition, we will also see how this pair began to crack and ultimately led to the downfall of the device, never going further than the prototype, because Wally was stepping in and taking over of all the work that Sally went through as a female inventor and scientist, even though the work was done mostly by Sally, Wally will end up taking all of the credit and pushing Sally out of history. And the prototype will ultimately end up failing because of the erasure and because society decided that this piece of technology was not worth the burden of displacing the jobs of people in the agricultural industry and the government regulation that would end up be required.
It worked!
It worked?
It worked!
I did it!
We did it!
I did it! You're good.
Once they saw that the prototype actually worked, they decided to take it into a boardroom to try and sell their product in order for greater use, to provide it to the people who were living in the food deserts. But ultimately, because of corporate greed and corporate workings and pushing it through the FDA and other government organizations that would make it accessible to those that they wanted it to. The ultimate ladder was also making it profitable in the eyes of those who could make the device into an actual production beyond just the prototype one.
What's up, investors and FDA company? This is the H2 Overconsumption. I'm the inventor, Wally Smith.
And I am also the inventor, Sally Johnson.
So this is my invention, the H2 Overconsumption, where all you have to do is pour water in the top, and food comes out the bottom. It can be whatever food you want to do. You can input whatever you need to do. Just punch the numbers and magic happens, and food comes out the bottom. And it'll be really cheap. Anyone can buy it. It's a one-time purchase. All you got to do, purchase it, and use tap water. Food at the bottom. Easy as that. So easy. So there are some policy implications What policies need to emerge? We've got the cap on the amount of food it can make in one storage usage according to the guidelines from the ODPHP.
That's the Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion.
Right. So there's also policy capping the amount of land being farmed to support our machine working, to not overconsume and overproduce food.
And then there's some tariffs on imports of
Tropical fruits and vegetables, and because it makes it easier, you can make any tropical fruit or vegetable you want. So there's also government agencies or institutions involved. We're waiting FDA approval. Love you, FDA. There's also EPA disapproval because of increased water usage, but we don't need them.
And then we also have to work
The USDA.
in the Department of Health and Human Services.
Right.
As well as the Office of
Disease Prevention and Health Promotion.
which we mentioned with new policies that we do.
Right, yeah. So some results of policy change or not would be, again, the ODPHP implemented policy for federal guidelines of nutritional standards.
So we have also taken into consideration some of the impacts that our product will have.
Yeah, so impact on the future innovation is a catalyst of future innovations to begin a social equalizer where people won't have to worry about getting the basic necessities.
And then a further exploration of ways to increase
Fresh water supplies, yeah. There's some social changes too, loss of a majority of the agricultural industry, but they're taking up too much space anyways, we don't need them. Technological dependence on food as a preservation of land.
And then our device will end up making a lot of agricultural land
Obsolete, which could be turned into, new companies or communities. There's also a cultural impact, Technology will become more intertwined with society, changing the ways of many cultures to fit within anything you need, You didn't finish the slide. I can't believe you didn't finish the slides. Made me look like an idiot.
You kept cutting me off, making me look like an idiot.
Well, I knew what I was talking about.
You
didn't finish the
kept
slide.
messing up so many words.
I did not.
You didn't even talk about the relationship between technology and society, how it influences so many people and it's like a social construct.
Yeah.
You left out details about how society is dependent upon technology and how it influences education, healthcare, it influences how people interact with each
We're
other.
making food, bro. That's all we're doing.
I made the food and you took credit for all of it.
Wally and Sally learned just how deeply entwined science, technology, and values are, with technology and values, value and technology being easier to spot and learn and see within their creation of their device because it was their values and their background, and knowing and understanding what it's like to not have the best food for you so easily accessible as promoted by the government. However, within science and values, it is more convoluted and a deeper question and understanding of just how far values can be applied to science in the greater historical aspect of science, as well as how can science change the values depending on how it's applied, how it's used, and who does the application.
I think we need to figure out ways to get our product out there and get people to know about it so we can.
Bro, we should definitely make a commercial.
That's
That
a
thing
good
would be
idea.
so sick.
We could have like one of those advertisements where they're like, call now.
Yeah. You gotta get some really cool dude to do it though.
Yeah, for sure. And then we could do social media. We could like put ads out on like Instagram and TikTok and
Oh yeah, definitely.
Twitter and stuff.
I have such a following on Instagram.
You do?
Yeah. I'll get all those people to buy it.
Okay, sweet. So commercial, social media. Anything else?
You could do like posters, billboards. I always look at billboards whenever we're on the highway.
That would be cool. We could do that.
Since we're trying to target the poor people, we could put it in poor areas. Yeah.
You're thinking.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
I know.
Mail's here.
Oh, mail.
Oh, it's for you.
Of course it's for me. Why would it be for you? Rejected?
What?
Rejected? Why do you have to reject us?
Well, what
It's
is
because
it?
you messed up the slideshow, isn't it?
It was probably because you messed up while you're talking.
Messed up the slideshow.
Stop speaking.
So through all their great trials and tribulations, Sally and Wally's H2 overconsumption ultimately did fail, most likely because they were probably jumping the gun on trying to get it produced so quickly at a high rate, and it ended up changing who their audience was supposed to be and who their audience actually probably was going to end up being, with creating a cost of it being $79.99, looking at dispersal through diffusion through like billboards, social media, which in theory would make sense because how else would running marketing campaigns work in this day and age without the use of social media and other outside forces other than traditional media such as commercials, as well as trying to make a piece of technology that ultimately was going to push out so many other industries such as agriculture, and as well as making restaurants and other corporations such as Walmart and other grocery stores obsolete with their device and the science that is so new, which ultimately end up taking water and changing the molecules into becoming food that takes no time at all except for a couple seconds, maybe even minutes. Would you have a full 5-course meal, which no longer would make the restaurant industry usable. So eventually, their technology did not serve the society in the greater sense of society, with all the jobs, industries, people who would ultimately lose their livelihoods in order to make one aspect of society better that could be made better while still keeping the other industries alive for the people who ultimately would end up needing the machine probably far more than they actually need, who would probably end up buying the machine far more than the people who actually need it.
I can't believe it didn't work.
Oh, back where we started.
Fast food.
Unhealthy because it's cheap. Big companies just screwed us over.
Tell me about it.